Hi, it's Ev Hales with stage 2 of painting roses. This time I'm going to change the colour of the roses, use a pattern of darks to find the main leaves and refine my midtones. I decided the flowers were a little too pale and I wanted a little more richness, and so I'm adding this intense colour, putting it on quite dry and then softening the edge with a damp brush, or leaning on the back of the brush in order to soften the mark. I'm adding the depth close to the bowl of the rose, which reinforces the shape. In some areas I'm just flooding colour across to simplify the areas. Here I'm painting into the damp. My roses have gone from pale roses to quite rich colours. The full-blown rose is much softer in tone. Now I'm adding some really deep darks in order to bounce that dark at the top of the painting through the design. These dark areas are both on the leaves and in the background. It's painted all on dry, and again I'm controlling the edge with the back of the brush, or sometimes an extra brush with just clean water in it. Quite abstract marks are being painted, and most of this work is negative painting. You'll see I'm working around the main flower, but not all around. I'm leaving some areas to bounce light against the lighter petals, otherwise the flower would be cut off and tight. Wherever possible, I'm using the colours in the background for the colours on my leaves, and only adding what is necessary. I'm carrying this dark now through all this mass of green on the left-hand side, which is just an area of balance for the action of the flowers. On a rose bush, there are so many layers of leaves, and it's interesting to create that in your painting, with a minimum of fuss if possible. I can use quite pure colour on my picture because I have interesting colours underneath, and I will need to soften the white in some places here, just with a glaze of colour, otherwise against the dark it will create too much attention. Stems are another way to carry your eye through the picture, and here I'm painting some quite strong stems in amongst the leaves, sometimes on top, sometimes behind. Now it's time for a little bit of detail on some of the main leaves, and I want to reinforce the levels of space. So I'm going to use the leaves over the top of some of the flowers in order to create those layers. Here I'm going to push that lovely rose in behind by painting some leaves over the top of it. This adds greatly to the illusion of space. Some stems over the top will also do the same thing. And you'll notice I'm lifting out as well as painting in order to create these highlights on the leaves. Just softening back to give a bit of light. A few more buds adds to the interest and again pushes that rose right into the background. Now just a light flush on this main flower. As the flowers age, they lose their intensity of colour. And a few extra punchy darks in amongst this large area of leaf mass helps to balance the painting across the whole design. And we're nearly there. A touch of the green on the top. That's where I started this demonstration, adding the colour and then the interest in the foliage.